Boxing fans, get comfortable. Imagine you are the royalty of the sport, a legend who has conquered the world and who, after an epic and dramatic victory, has the option to retire at the very top. This is exactly what happened to Juan Manuel Dinamita Marquez. After his brutal knockout of Manny Pacquiao, the master of counterpunching had the perfect fairy tale ending, but the promoters had other plans. On May 17, 2014, at the legendary Forum in Inglewood, California, the Mexican icon, 40 years old with a record of 55-7-1, 40 KOs, stepped into the ring. The night wasn't meant to be a simple farewell, it was a trap. In the other corner stood Mike Mile High Alvarado, 13 years younger, with a record of 34-2, 23 KOs. Alvarado wasn't just any name. He was a brawler, a fighter with the heart of a warrior who was coming off a trilogy of wars against Brandon Rios and a brutal loss to Ruslan Provodnikov. The crowd was divided. While Marquez's name and legendary status made him the betting favorite, doubt filled the air. The narrative was clear and dramatic. The old lion against the young warrior. Many believed that years of wars and his age would finally catch up to Marquez, that Alvarado's youth and relentless pressure would be too much for him. There was talk that the promoter wanted a changing of the guard, that this fight was a way to pass the torch to the next generation at the expense of a legend's legacy. But what they didn't know was that Dinamita hadn't come to pass the torch. He came to prove that age is nothing but a number. Round 1. The Master's Lesson. From the moment the bell rang, the difference in styles was brutally obvious. Alvarado came out pressuring, throwing power punches to try and corner Marquez, who moved like a ghost.
A little bit lighter, and he's giving away 5 inches in reach to Mike Alvarado.
His first priority, let's see if my size makes it. It's a fill-out round. The first round is going to be a fill-out round. See what the guy has. And that's
the Mexican, however, moved with subtlety, making Alvarado miss over and over again. He used his jab, sharp and precise like a scalpel, to measure distance and neutralize the pressure. By the end of the round, Alvarado's face already showed the frustration of swinging at air. From the very start, it was clear who held the advantage, but it was also evident that he was struggling to adapt to his opponent's defensive style.
Worked up on him. This again is Marquez.
It's so interesting to us, fight strictly a boxer, then more of a counter-puncher, harder counter-puncher.
Mike Alvarado knew that even the slightest mistake could cost him the fight, or even earn him a direct trip to the hospital.
A little bit lighter, and he's giving away 5 inches.
Before I decide that I've got to put the pressure on.
Which is more right now than Alvarado's doing as a belt.
Rounds 2 and 3. The fight turned into a chess match in which Marquez was the grandmaster. Despite Alvarado's aggressiveness, the Mexican maintained control with his head movement, lateral footwork, and impenetrable defense.
I'm wondering what is Alvarado's game plan right now, because I really don't know what he's trying to do. Okay, yeah. He's opening up a little bit more now.
But at the time you asked that question, what's he going to do here? Mike is moving, sliding around. Marquez feints inside, doesn't get Alvarado to move. It's clear to me that Marquez has got quicker hands.
Every time Alvarado closed the distance, Marquez greeted him with a jab to the body or a short uppercut. The Mexican's speed was superior, and his punches, though not knockout shots, were clean and precise, breaking down the younger warrior's morale. Alvarado, for his part, looked brave, but his offense was neutralized again and again.
Marquez,
he has to work the body.
It looks like he wants to try something, but he's not quite sure how to have
gloves. Right hand, left hand to the body by Marquez. Solid. Mike went head-hunting that time, but he missed his shot hard with the left hand. Puffiness around the eyes of Alvarado already. We're only in the 3rd round. Alvarado continues to wait.
And it's still planted in his mind, and he doesn't want to get hit like that.
Right.
But
he's allowing Marquez to do whatever he wants.
And the way he's holding his gloves up so hot,
and that's applying pressure, throwing lots of punches, and landing big shots. Stand on the outside.
Marquez has always been known for fighting with his head, never impulsively, and without a doubt, this is a trait of his boxing personality that took him to the very top. We can see it reflected in this intense fight, where, physically,
10 years younger right now.
A veteran or old fighter. The opponent can make him look, Marquez look too old. He's taken 10 years off of his.
Took that time, he didn't quite catch Marquez. Mike, wait. Huffy by the right eye already.
Oh yeah, because Alvarado's not doing anything but sitting in front of him.
Rounds 4 and 5. The Forum in Inglewood had turned into a showcase of pure technique. The crowd erupted with every Marquez combination. The Mexican threw hooks to the body, looping shots to the head, and always found an escape route to stay out of the line of fire. The commentators couldn't stop praising Marquez's intelligence, his shoulder movement, and his ability to anticipate Alvarado's every move. Alvarado's face was already beginning to show the punishment, his cheekbones swelling.
Got him with a little stuff on the inside. That's where Alvarado has to be, right
That's
there.
where he needs to go.
Look who's getting off first again, Marquez. Mike almost paused with the...
He knows what he has to do now, that you can see.
Right.
He knows that whatever it was he was trying before, good jab.
Mike Alvarado.
And another decent job by Alvarado. Mike goes with that right hand lead. He needs to do more stuff like this. He's got to get this. Look at this. Man.
Round 6 and 7. Alvarado, aware that he was losing on points, turned up the pressure. He tried to trap Marquez against the ropes, but the Mexican slipped away with ease. Marquez wasn't just defending himself. He countered with the speed of a predator. His experience allowed him to land punches in spaces that didn't seem to exist, and his precision was deadly. The fight had become a monologue.
And he's not doing it right now. He started up the round all right.
Mike is trying to go for the kill, try to land punches.
Marquez is a naturally smaller, bigger guy to show that.
To go. Again, another better round for Alvarado, but I don't think he's won the round. Out of time in the 6th round.
The old man went right with him.
There it is.
Bradley, and I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan. Glad that you're with us. Our principals, Juan Manuel Marquez, a great champ, future. The inability of Alvarado to impose his will. Right hand lead.
And he's trying. Alvarado is trying.
Round 8. The earthquake and the counterattack. The 8th round began with both fighters carefully measuring their distance, perhaps out of exhaustion, or simply because they both knew that a single mistake could decide the rest of the fight.
Right hand.
I noticed that Freddie Roach really closely. How much does he have left?
Right now, Marquez is looking sensational right now.
Yep.
However, Marquez continued looking to land punches, while Alvarado stayed on the defensive, just like in the first round. With 30 seconds left in the round, Juan Manuel Marquez unleashed a sharp, straight, and violent right hand that landed cleanly on Alvarado's face. The blow was so devastating that the young warrior collapsed against the ropes, falling to the canvas. The Forum erupted in a roar of jubilation. Marquez had proven that at 40 years old, his dynamite was still deadly. He raised his arms, savoring a victory that already felt like his.
5 and 6 and 7. Can Mike get up at 8? He does. Champion fighter. Oh, he missed! And he drops Alvarado. How about that, folks? We'll show it to you.
Marquez goes right with him and let him know that, hey, I'm here, buddy.
But Alvarado hadn't come to give up. He got up with fire in his eyes and the heart of a warrior, determined that it was his turn to strike. In a moment that shocked everyone, Alvarado landed a perfectly timed right hand that connected with Marquez's face and sent him to the canvas. The legendary counterpuncher, the master of defense, was down. The silence at the Forum in Inglewood was deafening, followed by an explosion of screams. The trap, the age, the fatigue, everything seemed to have taken its toll. The image of the great Juan Manuel Marquez on the canvas was a shock no one expected. Rounds 9-12. The Legends War. The final dance. After that explosive exchange, the fight turned into an unrelenting war. The knockdown seemed to revive Alvarado. He was no longer just a brawler. He was a man on a mission. He pressed forward with everything, landing punches and rocking Marquez at times. It seemed as if history might be rewritten. But then the champion's heart of Juan Manuel Marquez emerged. Like a scene from an action movie, Marquez, the protagonist on the brink of defeat, drew on unseen reserves of strength to respond to Alvarado's incredible punches, with the younger fighter seeming more motivated than ever. How long would this motivation last? Marquez was defending himself exceptionally well, and he didn't seem disoriented even after taking that devastating blow.
Came to be an aggressive, in-your-face.
On instinct right now, as is Alvarado. He's got a bad mouse underneath his left. This opportunity. The right hand. But Marquez's legs are not totally there right now.
Rounds 9 and 10. The Mexican, despite being visibly affected, regained control of his distance, using his jab like a metronome and landing combinations that made the difference. Every time Alvarado came forward, he paid the price. Marquez made him pay for every attempt with surgical precision, showing that his ring intelligence was far superior to Alvarado's bravery. Despite the punishment, Alvarado remained standing. Marquez's power shots were starting to have a real effect, and Alvarado's face began to swell.
Alvarado continues to wait as he bobs to the left now, back from the right. Talk about boxing, Alvarado. Alvarado waiting and waiting, hoping to land another big right hand.
And he's smart enough to know how to get to the wire without.
However, we all knew that Marquez held the advantage in the fight, but it's well known that the judge's perspective isn't always entirely accurate, especially when Marquez took a solid punch during the bout. This couldn't be left to chance.
He's gotten better with age.
Rounds 11 and 12. The fight had become a showcase of Alvarado's resilience and Marquez's mastery. The Mexican continued throwing punches with the same fluidity as in the first round. Alvarado's face, swollen and with his guard broken, was a testament to the brutal punishment he had taken. In the final seconds, the forum erupted with shouts of "Marquez! Marquez!" In the end, the judges' scorecards confirmed what everyone had seen. A decisive victory for Juan Manuel Marquez by unanimous decision, with scores of 117-109, 117-109, and 119-108. Marquez had triumphed. Without a doubt, it was a tremendous, fitting punishment for a legend's farewell. And even though it wasn't a knockout, the audience knew just how dominant he had been for the majority of the fight.
15
With that eye that slid open, puffed up.
He is a beaten horse.
Marquez is not going to let anything happen.
He's not going to let him land that right hand.
Just waiting here. Being excellently backing off, ties him up on the ropes. Alvarado, that seems to me more often than not that fighters like this.
The legacy of an immortal warrior. The victory was a statement. It wasn't just a simple points win. It was a victory against time, against critics, and against those who thought it was his moment to retire. It was a masterclass in boxing, a war with moments of sheer madness, and the final chapter in the legend of one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. Juan Manuel Marquez's victory didn't just add to his record, it proved that a true champion is measured not only by his wins, but by the way he rises after every fall.